good neighbor. It is apparent we are taking off from Alameda, California, and we're flying right over the Fruitvale Bridge to the Oakland glass plant, or what's left of it. It's almost over for this plant, and as you know, I've been coming over here about every other few days and documenting when will they tear down the big building. That's what we're all waiting for, and as of today, well, we got action here. There's a lot of people working, but that big building is still up all by itself. And this is the main attraction. This will be the piece of resistance, as they say. This will be the grand finale. These smokestacks coming down. How will they do that? Are they just going to take the big claws and tear them down, or is that going to be a crane? I see the scaffolding all around it coming down. The scaffolding had like a plastic sheet around it, and that is all gone. So they have been doing some decontamination on those old smokestacks. So those will be one of the things I'm waiting to see come down. But as you can see here, there is only a little bit of Phase 5 left. Now I call it Phase 5 because, well, I've been watching this thing go down in phases. And there is that big building in the back next to those neighborhoods that I want to see come down. But I think they're taking their time on that big building in the back. They haven't got to that one yet, so seeing a lot of debris here getting moved around without dust control. So you think a lot of water would be poured on this stuff while they're moving it around, but no. So they've been getting complaints by the neighbors saying that they would like to see the dust be controlled. Because when you start a project like this, you promise all the neighbors, we will control the dust. And the neighbors believe you. Well, unfortunately, in this case, the neighbors believed the glass plant, and the glass plant has lied to them. There is a koi fish business right on the other side of this property. You might even see it in this drone shot, but the fish have been dying because of all the concrete dust. So if you look here real close, you can see a little bit of mist being sprayed from far away. So they are doing their best to control the dust. But as I once heard, don't do your best, do my best. And I don't see a lot of water getting on that dust, but that's besides the point. As you can see here, they are down to the end of this building. This little long arm of the destruction, well, one bite at a time, you know that. This is the main attraction for me when I come out here to see the demo. I just love to see the long arm of destruction work. I know I came up with a name for it at one time, but I've already forgotten that name I gave it. But I like the long arm of destruction. That sounds pretty good to me. But there it is. The Oakland glass plant. What's left? 2 humongous buildings, basically. The one on your left and the one on the right. They've done it in 5 phases. One at the top right, 2 at the top left, 3 at the bottom right, 4 at the bottom left, and 5 right in the middle. So that's how I came up with 5 phases. So I would say 6 and 7 will be those 2 big buildings. But I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go, right? So when you have a construction project like this, I'm sure they give it different names and phases. But for me and my house, I will serve the Lord. But you can see that they're getting their money's worth out of this scrap metal. At least on the other side, there was a lot of scrap. On this side, it seemed like there's more debris and trash and wood. So I know you don't get much money out of scrap wood. So it seems like they started over there on that lot where all the metal was. So it makes sense to me to start where the money is. It's kind of like mining. Whenever you mine a mountain, you want to go right to where all the money is. So that's why they're ending this project with the wood phase. And you can see right here, there's no money in that. That's just concrete and rebar. And by the time they get done separating the rebar from the concrete, well, there really is no profit in it at all. With fuel and labor cost, it's just no money in demolition work like it used to be. Now, I could be wrong, and I have been wrong before, but I just don't see a huge profit margin in having somebody sit there and do this 8 hours a day, little by little. And what is the profit margin? I don't know. But that is that zoom in camera. I got that zoom in 3 times camera, and I should probably use that more. I don't really see how good it looks until when I get home. But my eyes aren't what they used to be, even with glasses. I can't really see like I used to. Isn't that funny how age takes away your hearing and takes away your sight? But I tell you what, the longer you live, the more grateful you are to be alive. So, especially when you see a building like this come down and you outlived it. Now, one of the comment of the people watching this said a lot of this factory was built in the 30s and 40s. And I thought it was in the 60s. So, there you go. These people are tearing stuff down that was built pre-World War II. So that just shows you how old it is. I wonder if they found any old bottles. Now that is a kind of a stupid question since they worked in a bottle facility, but I'm sure there was like an old bottle tucked away from the 30s somewhere, don't you? Well, I'll tell you what, when I see this much junk and not a lot of profit, I just wonder, where does this stuff go? Like in farming material, you could have fertilizer, but what do you make out of old chopped up wood? I can see they have it in different separate piles. The gray metal with the dirty wood with the clean wood. I don't know how they separate it and what order it goes, but you can see that they got some kind of method to their madness, as they say. Look at all that land ready for you to build your brand new building. Not yet, not yet. Hold your horses. Yes, that's what Grandma used to say. Hold your horses, and be patient. So right across the street, well, okay, there is a street there. Right across the estuary from Alameda. Well, I'm sure there's going to be concerns about all of this dust blowing over from this massive stacks. I guess we want to call them smokestacks coming down. I wonder if they'll blow them up. Kind of like Vegas. I don't think so. Whoa, what are you doing? Wow. I just flew right through there. That was pretty scary, but I made it, evidently. You're going to be messing around like that, you're going to crash this drone, old boy. And, well, I tell you what, I'm just out here trying to have a little fun. That's all I'm trying to do. And document the fall of civilization. So next time I come out here, that's what I will do. I will actually show you on the other side of the freeway and how bad it's getting over there. Well, you already know how bad it's getting because I've shown you the Home Depot that's right next door. So, yeah, if they don't take care of this lot fast, this will become a homeless camp. So they need to keep the security here. They need to keep cleaning it up. And the progress needs to keep going. They can't stop. When you have a massive lot like this in Oakland, well, you need to keep the progress growing. Or, if you don't, it's just like nature's civilization. It takes over. That's right. Nature will take over that lot, and homeless and thieves and will come into this neighborhood, and they will spread on over to Alameda like a virus. But I don't want to talk about crime and punishment and all that. We're just here to look at this beautiful, I want to call it, piece of land. It is a beautiful piece of land, even in its destructive phase. Like I've said before, I always like the down shots. I forget to take them. But it does give a neat perspective on what is going on down there. So I got to come up with like a punch list of shots to take when I'm out droning. Well, yeah, it sounds like I'm droning on and on now, and I am a little bit. So I'll finish this video here shortly, but I do want to show you how many people it takes to clean one pile. There's 3 diesel engines running full time to pick through a pile and take out what is good and what is bad. Well, I guess that's part of the job when you do scrap metal work and demo work, is you really got to pick through it all and take every bit of scrap metal you can find. I guess there's some kind of enjoyment in that too. If you bid a job for $10,000 and you make $50,000 in scrap, it's almost like gambling. So each job is different in that way. Well, there's a little bit of that neighborhood that I was telling you about that is getting affected by all this dust. And their neighborhood will be affected in the future by all the diesels that will be running at this new Amazon distribution plant. So they say. That's right, the rumor mill says that this will be an Amazon distribution plant. So this thing will be going 24 hours a day, don't you think? So those neighbors, they got to fight for what's right. And don't let off the gas, because you can't let people take advantage of you. And seems like them just spraying that little bit of water on this big dust pile doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not a lawyer. But if I'm a lawyer, I would be watching these videos and showing the jury that there should be water throughout this project. There should be men with hoses and fire hydrants with water, pumping water straight into those hoses, and the men, look at that dust. Look at it. You can see the dust from the freeway. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Almost looks like smoke. Well, you see what you want to see, and you smell what you want to smell. So that's how much debris is left here at the Oakland glass plant. So if you want to know what's left, well, that was what's left. Well, I've talked a little bit too much in this video. You know, you really got to make something out of nothing, and that's what I do. I just don't like to talk too much, but you have to talk. You can't just leave these videos with no narration. So, like I always like to say, I'd like to thank you guys. You know, your time is valuable to me, so it's like a flight with the airline. I want to thank you for coming along with me on these flights and seeing the progress of this Oakland glass plant. You can see how much is left. Not much. And if land is millions of dollars an acre around here, well, you're just looking at a lot of money. Well, like I said, as always, I want to thank you for coming along with me on these Oakland glass plant Phase 5 adventures. That's right, we're getting close to Phase 7. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz.